everybody, welcome back to Captain Equine. This is the first ever podcast. We'll see how this goes to see whether or not it'll continue happening. But I'm thinking that we are going to do funny horse stories. So I'm going to go off and tell a couple of mine. If you have any that you want to be told, please comment them down below. Until then, I have enough stories to go on for a couple podcasts. So let's start off with Captain. So Captain is our thoroughbred. He is very large, and we got him about 2 years ago. Since then, he has basically been rideable for about 6 months within the entire time we've had him. So for the first 4 weeks, he got injured twice. First, he slipped and got started by a door during the second week we had him. Thankfully, he didn't kick anybody because he has a strong kick. But my dad opened the door, and it spooked him because he was standing on our porch. We have fences now, by the way. And it was just my dad yelling, "Whoa, easy!" while Captain freaks out, slips, and makes his leg all sore. The second injury in that 1 month period was whenever the mares on the opposite side of the pasture were, just being there. He did not like that he did not like them being close to the herd, which at that time was only Phoenix and Pepe, our donkey and resident only mare. So he went over there and started fighting with them. He got his foot stuck in the barbed wire, and instead of being a nice boy and sitting there waiting for somebody to come and help him, he ripped it out and cut off part of the back of his heel. So he was in recovery for about 6 months. And after that 6 month period, we started riding him again. He was doing good. We weren't doing too much. Very difficult, hard work. We didn't want to push him too far, and I rode him in a rodeo racing. We didn't go too fast. And in a couple play days, as one of my horses was injured at the time, we just keep on picking up injured horses. It's ridiculous. Every single one of them has something wrong with them. But, we love them. And then, back in October, he did it again. He fought with the mares through the fence and cut off the 2 heel bulbs on his hoof, and now he is still in rehab. It's been a long couple months, but he's doing better now. He now has a pasture mate. He will never go out in a big pasture next to horses ever again. We thought it was a one-time thing. Nope. He just loves being injured for some reason. He colics a lot, which we got that under control too. And he's an off-the-track thoroughbred, so, he cribs. And the only way for us to control that, because he will find a way, is putting on a cribbing collar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell a couple good stories, because I feel like it would be bad to just leave Captain on that note, because he is honestly such the sweetest, cutest boy. So currently he's allowed to walk around in the house area under close supervision with his pasture mate Thunder, which I'll tell a story about Thunder next, because we're going to just cover that pasture. My mom was out there, and she was just petting on him. They're best friends because my mom had to take care of him for so long, spending hours out there just caring for his various needs. And my mom had to go inside because she had a meeting. She walked inside, and Captain tried to follow her in the house. She had to go, no, back him up, because he was like 1 foot or 1 hoof away from reaching inside and getting inside the house. And then he just watched her through the window. She sent me a photo, which I might put up on the screen in a moment, if I can find it, or if I remember that I said I would put it up. Another story was whenever he was okay to ride, which we're hoping he will be again, but maybe not, was when I was riding him. I thought I was riding for about 30 minutes. In reality, I was riding for about 2 hours, and I was doing all the things. I was going bareback. I was just riding in the saddle, no reins. I was doing all the things and just, testing him out, because we only had him for a year, and this was like the 2nd month we were able to ride him because of all the injuries. and it was the most magical thing. You feel like you can conquer the world on top of a tall horse's back. I've never been able to stick with smaller, like I can never go with a medium-sized horse anymore. It's either I'm going tall or I'm going small. That's it. So that's about 5 minutes on Captain. I'm going to try and spend some time on Thunder now. So Thunder was our first ever horse. I got him back when I was 11, 12? Somewhere around there. Way before COVID. So I got him. He was a very bucky boy. He liked to test me. And it was different and weird because I have only ever been on lesson horses, and they've been doing this for years and years and years. They will not buck off a kid. My only buck was really just a crow hop up to that point in a little expedition I did at a rodeo when I was like 9. So I fell off a lot. Yeah. One of the things that was always installed in me from my trainer was get back on, always. So I got back on, would ride him around a bit, and he would find a new way to test me. So it took months and months and months of working with him. I wouldn't agree with the ways I worked with him now, but it worked back then. I worked and worked and worked with him, and then he became this all-around good boy pony. I won 4th place the second year I had him in my play day, and the next year I started sharing him with my sister. That year I did not do very much of like winning really. I was in this tough point because I had recently broken my ankle and I was in a wheelchair for a couple months due to the ankle. It was a very, very strange break. But my sister was on him and she won 1st place in her age division. And it was so cool because here's this little pony going up against these big horses with a girl who's only been riding for 2 years, and she won. She's honestly such a great rider. But we moved into the place we are now, and he came about a month later. Captain wasn't hurt yet, but he came in along with my new horse that I had gotten because I was tired of sharing a horse with my little sister. So I begged and got a horse named Loki, which more on him next episode. So we got him, he was here, and my sister was riding him a lot. We were going through all the things. I was working with my new horse until I got another new horse, until we got the 2 new horses and then my baby boy. So he was purely my sister's horse, though he would always be my first horse at heart, my little pony, because he was literally my dream when I was younger. But recently, he cut his eye, so he got this ulcer. We tried and tried and tried, and he lost the eye. Whenever after the surgery and he got back out into the pasture with everybody, nobody liked him anymore, honestly. He'd spent so much time in a stall trying to heal that the herd sort of moved on. They grew, they had a new member. It was just completely different. So he was not having any friends, he did not get along with anybody. So we put him in with Captain. Captain at this point had spent about half a year alone, and they clicked instantly. They are the best, the bestest friends, and it's so strange because it's like this itty bitty pony. Not really itty bitty, but a normal sized pony. And this tall thoroughbred, and they are just the most loving, loving herd ever. They work together, they eat together, they don't fight over food very often, they crib next to each other because for some reason Thunder also had the cribbing thing. Like, they go everywhere together. Thunder and Captain are pretty buddy sour. Thunder isn't that buddy sour, but Captain really is. So if Thunder will turn the corner away from him, Captain will freak out and run to catch up with his friend. So yeah, that's that little pasture. I can probably tell one good story about Thunder other than, him being the bestest boy ever. So on this trail ride, my sister was riding him, I was riding Loki, and we were with some friends, and her friend went and chased some cows on him, and Thunder was a natural born. Like, he was racing after those cows. He was loving this. Sadly, they had to stop, but whenever my sister took off, she grabbed her hat, pretended to hit Thunder on the booty with it, like how the you know how like the old cowboys in the movies would do it. She pretended to hit him, and then they took off, yelling "Woo!" as they ran. It was really cute and a fun time. Loki and me were trotting behind because Loki was spooky. Anyways, that is the end of today's podcast. I really hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to try and do this every week. This wasn't too bad, even though my throat really hurts. If you have any funny horse stories that are appropriate for like a child level of listening, please comment them down below. I hope you all enjoyed this. See you next time.